So at Ecovative Design, we make a direct replacement for styrofoam using mushroom roots and agricultural waste. So we take locally sourced waste streams, like buckwheat hulls from right here in New York State, and we convert them into a tough, rigid product with just using fungal mycelium or mushroom roots.
Our key product we launched with last year is EcoCradle protective packaging. This being used by Dell to protect their servers, by Steelcase to protect furniture, and by Crate and Barrel to protect things like tables and chairs. And the idea is it works just like styrofoam, protects well, it's affordable, it's effective, but when you're done using it, you can compost it. When you come into Ecovative, the first thing you see is our labs, and this is really where the heart of our material is. This is where new developments come from. As you travel down the first walkway of our facility, you see our production line, which converts raw ag waste into ready-to-grow mycomaterials. And as you loop back towards the door, you see these parts growing, self-assembling, and eventually going into the dryer. And once they're dried, they come out and look a lot like this.
Right, because when you walk into Ecovative, you don't see a traditional manufacturing facility. We look more like a vertical farm, because we have racks upon racks of growing parts, these self-assembling materials. The Capital Region is a great place to start a biotech company, specifically one that is very green-oriented. The Capital Region in Albany was noted as one of the top places to start a green venture recently. But in general, starting a company here in the Capital Region is fantastic because of the resources that you have access to. Being able to source high-talent staff has been phenomenal. We have great resources that we can draw on from Skidmore College to Union, RPI, so on and so forth. So I don't think we would start the company anywhere else.
Currently, Habitat for Humanity is the 6th largest builder in America. Our customer is exclusively the hardworking, lower-income families in our country that otherwise would never have an opportunity to own a home of their own. And over the past 36 years, we have built over 500,000 homes worldwide, and we're happy to say we're well on our way to 1 million. Most people think we are just builders, but we are a multifaceted business that has many arms. We're a builder, we're a developer, we're a wholesaler, we're a mortgage company, and it's quite a complicated mix, but it works beautifully. Right over my shoulder, we have 10,000 square feet of wholesale selling space, jam-packed with product that was on its way to the landfill that's found a second life, and we sell that at a fraction of the cost to just about anybody who has a need. To me, Habitat is truly one of the primary answers to breaking the vicious cycle of working-class poverty. It's tens of thousands of volunteers around the world. Without our volunteers, Habitat would not exist. It is the good graciousness, the spirit, the energy, and the caring of this country, and more particularly those folks in the Capital District who give of their time and their energy every day, once a week, to help us build what we build. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank our volunteers, and they know we love them.
We sell software and services to doctors and hospitals, healthcare systems, and our business is about digitizing the medical practices and connecting all the providers.
The healthcare system is very outdated in terms of its use of technology. It's very inefficient. So healthcare is basically the last sector of the industry which has not adopted IT. So it's been long overdue. So now there's a push towards adopting IT.
If a doctor sends a patient to a hospital, right now the patient shows up without any information for the hospital. Our systems allow that information for the patient to go from the doctor to the hospital and back and forth. So the patient care coordination is smoother, patient care is more effective.
So for example, we have a patient connectivity system. So If you're a patient, you can go online. If your doctor has that product, you can book your appointments online, you can pay your bills online, you can do prescription refills online, you can get a copy of your medical records online. If the doctor has given you a wellness regimen, you can get all that information online. You can download it, you can transfer it to any doctor. Can you do all that with your current doctor?
Being brothers is important to the team. We also have several RPI students as our team members. The first founding team, about 6 RPI graduates. That's been our strength, and that's been definitely the big driving force behind us.
Today, after 10 years, 11 years doing this, we are pretty strong insiders.
So we are the experts in this business now, and it's one of the largest industries in the world. And this company out of Albany, New York, happens to be one of the top companies in this business. So that's what we are proud of.
Infrastructure is a technology company that helps very large enterprises design, build, and operate smart technology solutions. So our business is all about working with a customer, sitting with a customer at the C-level to understand their business plan, really deeply understand what they're trying to accomplish as a company, how they measure success as a company, and then taking those expectations that that customer has and working with them, collaborating with them to figure out how technology can play a role in helping them achieve those objectives. One of the challenges is just keeping pace with all the things we need to know to bring value to a customer. Bringing them insight and being able to execute for them in a way that they really can't do themselves. We have to be better. If we're not, then they can do it themselves, and it wouldn't really make a lot of sense to work with us. One of the primary tools of our trade is that our people have a really deep understanding of our business. And it could be a deep understanding of the technology that's central to our business or an industry that we serve. And then what needs to map to that and align with that is our partners. We can't do the things we do without, very significant contribution from our partners. We have one very large customer that challenged us to be able to deliver a solution globally for them, and our services footprint today is just North America, the US and Canada. And what I think the Capital Region offers is it's the type of community where I felt comfortable going to talk to a few folks around to get some ideas on how we might meet that global need. And what we ended up with is within 10 days, 2 partners stepping up to help us figure out how to solve the customer's problem. I think that's one of the big advantages we have here.
What nanotechnology is the knowledge base, the know-how on how to manage and control the individual building blocks of matter. The individual building blocks of matter are atoms and molecules. So by being able to control them one by one, we can literally design or pre-design any real physical system with customized properties. The ability to integrate the chip technology, which is metal and semiconductor based, with organic materials, meaning the human body, is at the essence of nanotechnology. All the innovations driving our everyday life now are basically nanotechnology. Our society now is driven by innovation. And innovation has become so much more complex and so much more expensive, so that an individual company or individual university cannot do it on their own. Until this most recent announcement with the G450C consortium, typically the industry led the innovation model. They would come together, create an agency like Sematech, an industrial agency, to basically drive them together as a consortium to develop an innovation. With G450C, for the first time in history, a not-for-profit, a university now, is driving the innovation. And that's a great accomplishment for the governor, for the speaker to be able to convince the industry that we're not going to give you any money directly. The money is going to go to our educational system, and we're going to use it as the anchor that's going to bring you together, that's going to allow you to innovate together.
Masson Hospitality really started at Peggy's Restaurant as a family-run restaurant with 15 employees, where I was the chief cook and bottle washer, a lot like I am today, but a little different back then. And then we just continued to grow the company over the years. I'd say our big break was when we opened Glenn Sanders Mansion in 1989, which really kind of put us on the map as far as catering and events. 4 years later, we took over the Hall of Springs up at SPAC, and we got the contract to run all the food on the lawns and do all the catering at the Hall of Springs. We really didn't know a lot about that, but the philosophy I built this company on was get the deal and we'll figure out how to do it. I remember the president of SPAC at the time and me saying to him, listen, we really don't have a lot of experience in this catering on the lawn. I mean, he said, no, you can do it, you can do it. We'll start off with a small show. I said, okay, well, let's start off with a small show and we'll get going. First show we did was Dave Matthews for 30,000 people. So we got a quick education and we knew what we were doing after that. I think the most important part of our philosophy is service to our customers, exceeding their expectations every time they come to one of our restaurants. When we first opened Prime in Albany and people kind of tasted what a Prime steak tastes like, it was like nothing they ever had before. The next time they go back, it's the same steak, but they've already had that experience. So how are we going to take that experience to another level? You know, what are we going to do as far as service and wowing the customer to make sure that that same taste of steak that they had that they never had before is the same every time they go back?
The Achievers is an enormous event and an opportunity for us to really see the movers and shakers in this community. It's a great way to recognize people who've been doing great work on the ground for many, many years. If you look at the capital region, it's a state capital, it's government-centric, but around us are all these little entities, mid-sized entities, large entities that are doing phenomenal things that a lot of us don't know about. So the Business Review really helps us to see and understand where great things are happening. I think it's critically important for us to recognize these groups, these individuals, these organizations. If we don't raise the profile of some of the wonderful things that are happening here, people don't understand it, they don't appreciate it, and they can't get involved in it. We should all be involved in what's going on in this community, and the only way we're going to get involved is to know more about what's happening.